We're going to start today's show with some good news and some bad news. Let's start with the bad news. Level 3 restrictions are going to continue for another 2 weeks in Taiwan. Now, the good news, officials are going to ease those restrictions. And what's that going to involve? Let's take a look. After nearly 2 months of level 3 restrictions, people in Taiwan are itching for a return to normal life. Starting July 13th, officials are opening up places like night markets, restaurants, and food courts for dine-in customers. But there will still be restrictions like social distancing, crowd control, registration, and masks when you're not eating. Now, in addition to restaurants, other places that will open up with restrictions include public parks, indoor and outdoor athletic spaces like gyms, and arts and performance spaces, but without audiences. Places that will remain closed include schools and cram schools, bars, massage parlors, swimming pools, video game arcades, and other similar recreational venues. Also important to note, you will still have to wear a mask at all times when you leave your home. Gatherings are still limited to 5 people indoors and 10 people outdoors, and all public weddings, funerals, and religious events will remain canceled. Officials say that even though the outbreak is under control in Taiwan, there's still a need for restrictions while sporadic cases continue to crop up. Now, a lot of people are asking what it's going to take to lift the level 3 alert, and should Taiwan be using different indicators? Here's a look at the current standards. Health Minister Chen Shizhong says that in order to lower the COVID-19 alert to level 2, there needs to be fewer than 10 new cases a day with unknown sources of infection and less than 3 cluster infections in 1 week. Some say that Taiwan is close to meeting those conditions, but National Taiwan University Hospital's Huang Limin is not so sure. More than 2 infections can be a cluster, he says, and if there are only 2 clusters but each has more than 40 to 50 cases and it's continuing to spread, that's worse than 3 small clusters. He says it's more important to look at the size of the cluster and how easy it is to control. Another expert, NTU Hospital's Dr. Chen Xiuxi, is looking at other indicators that suggest that it might be possible to lift restrictions. One is that the Delta cluster infection in the southern county of Pingdong has not spread to other parts of Taiwan. And the other is the low RT value for the past month, which suggests that each COVID-19 patient is spreading the virus to fewer than one other person. So what indicators do other countries look at? In Canada, they're looking at vaccination rates. Once 60% of the population is inoculated, they'll allow outdoor gatherings of less than 10 people and meals shared by up to 4 people. And the more people that get shots, the larger the gatherings. One thing's for sure, even when they do eventually lift level 3 restrictions in Taiwan, mask requirements, social distancing, and disinfection will still be needed to keep the virus at bay.